Next up, we have our good friend Cha McCoy. If you are part of the Bomb Squad, you know who Cha is. She is a wine expert. Oh, there's her name. She is a wine expert. She's based in Portugal part of the year. She does an amazing program called The Communion. Hi, Cha. How are you?
I'm well.
Good to see you.
You know, I'm always about my glow. I'm trying to make sure my lighting is...
Your glow. My light feels a little bright. It's pitch black outside, but it's like my light is a little bright. But it's okay. Whatever, right? It's Zoom.
Right, we're here.
So Cha and I are going to taste some sparkling wine from Bouvet, Ladubay. And Cha loves nothing more than to make a little fun of me sometimes. So I have some proper glassware this time, because the last time Cha and I did a wine tasting, apparently I have wildly inferior wine glasses and had no idea, but Cha pointed it out in front of thousands of people. So
now I'm the bad guy, you know? It's like when the bees attack, when Beyonce, you know, does something wrong. So this is Beyonce. Now, you have all the bees coming after me right now. So
no,
I'm glad you're all set.
So I grabbed a coupe. I love a coupe. And this one, I don't know. Oh yeah, you can see it. So this coupe, I don't have a lot of heirlooms, but this coupe is from my grandma.
Yes, I remember you sharing that as well. It's funny because I forgot, and I wanted to share with you one of my random heirlooms, which I didn't tell you about. Ended up being a bottle of champagne, because I don't know if you remember from when I was on stage, I had mentioned about my father changing his name, his last name being Champagne.
Mm-hmm.
And so they called me and my brother the Splits, because that's what you call half the mini bottles. So we
really
called
funny.
the Champagne Splits when we were born. And so he basically relabeled them. And because I'm quarantined in my mom's house for a change, I actually have them near me. So I forgot to have that ready to show you. He relabeled it with my name, with my weight and date of birth. And he gave them out to everybody in Harlem. Like, I'm having a girl. And
that's so sweet.
And did the same thing for my brother the following year. So he has his as well. So we have these two little split bottles of champagne in my mom's house from when we were born. So it just clicked just now when you showed me the glass.
Take a picture for us and put it on Instagram so we can all see it.
Yes, if you all want to know my full name, weight, and the length when I was born, I would definitely do that.
So Cha is referencing a talk that she gave at Jubilee last year. And it was an incredible talk. And one of Cha's missions in life is to diversify the wine world. And her talk was all about that. And you can actually go and hear it on Radio Cherry Bomb if you weren't at Jubilee and haven't heard it yet. So Cha, thank you for all the work that you are doing. That is an important mission.
For continuously giving me Cherry Bomb as a platform. And I made sure I brought two different ones.
I've got two.
Because we started with the glasses okay. But because you just started with the coupe talk, I thought it'd be a good, kick her off by talking about glassware when we're talking about sparkling. So I don't know if you know, but the coupe was actually started, it's supposed to take the shape of Maria Antoinette's breasts.
I've read that, yes.
Yes. And so that was style in the 50s. When it comes to sparkling, I prefer, to be honest, even when I'm visiting champagne houses, to actually drink out of regular white wine glasses. So that's why I had this here for me. But technically, and I did it both. I actually already opened. That's why you see a little bit here. I did pull out a flute because the flutes are best for elongating the bubbles. So we might as well pour.
Which one are we drinking first? We've got the Bouvet. The Brut?
The Brut, yep, the white.
The signature Brut. Can everybody see that? That's what we're drinking. I would invite you all over, but needless to say.
I know, we'll do a cheers before we taste, but we're just talking about glassware.
Kind of drinking alone tonight. All right. Is there an art to pouring it so you don't get all bubbles? Okay.
And so
smells great.
Really quickly, and I guess I'll pour it in both just so you can see and they can see yours as well, since we're talking about the glassware.
I love sparkling wine so much. So Bouvet Ladubay is a French house, goes back all the way to 1850, which is amazing. And they are one of the most renowned producers of sparkling wine in the traditional method. So
Correct. So Samora is the actual area within the Loire Valley. And that's actually, Carrie asked me, do you want to come on and talk about sparkling or do you want to talk about still wine? And I was kind of like torn because Loire Valley, which I did share with you, is like, that's like the region I love in France. So,
oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so I was super excited. All right, so you have both. Perfect. So I was super excited because of the history of Bouvet. Little do you most people know about a lot of the, like what you said with the year that was founded. They were actually around during World War II, and they played a contributor in helping the resistance get across the borders.
Wow. Okay.
So
makes me even happier to drink it.
Yeah, so they actually, the founder, he used to actually put some of the resistance movement activists into the old barrels of the wine, and drive them to London, and then they would get across the border that way. So I wanted to share that just so people can understand this is the type of history in the 1930s we're talking. So the actual war between 1940 to 1944 when they split France. But Loire Valley is the longest region in France, and Saumur is where you actually get the sparkling. Cremant is the actual style, typically if it's made in a traditional method like champagne, but outside out of champagne.
Oh no, yes, you can keep talking. I was just going to say, I'm going to drink while you talk. So
yeah. I'm just giving people some kind of textbook context when we start tasting this too. So champagne, which everyone loves, when you have it outside of Champagne region, is no longer champagne, right? But in France, they do have ones that are regulated, and this is one of them, Loire Valley. And because they're before 1975, most of their sparklings actually don't even say Cremant on the bottle, because they predate the rules, but they are still making in the method. So let's start talking about the taste. So what's your immediate thoughts on this one? So my 5 S's, let's go into it so we're doing it properly. So we already talked about sight last time. So you want to look at the bubbles. So now we have sparkling. So it's important to actually do it over the...
Oh.
Oh. So you can see the straw color that's coming up there, correct? So that's sight, the first S.
Okay.
Next, we're going to swirl, and they usually, let's say, one of my instructors from the Court of the Masters said, don't swirl bubbles. So
don't swirl bubbles. Okay.
Don't swirl bubbles. That's what she said. I do, but I don't do it crazy, but because basically the bubbles dissipate, and we haven't even tasted yet. So keep the bubbles there. So we'll remove swirl, but normally the next S is swirl when you're tasting the still wine.
Okay.
Afterwards, we smell. What you getting, Carrie?
Oh, I'm so bad at that. I don't have a vocabulary the same way you do.
I'm gonna let you do the rosé because that one's way more pronounced, and I'm gonna do the white. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So I first called like a jasmine, like a white flower, even like a white roses note. It's very hard because this is 100% Chenin Blanc. We didn't mention this earlier, and Chenin Blanc, or 90%, and I think 10% is Chardonnay. But in this case, because Chenin Blanc is such a non-aromatic grape, you really got to put like your nose all the way, dig real deep to kind of get some something great out of it.
It's good for that. Okay.
Yes. But the coupe, and then I didn't talk about the coupe glass, but the bubbles dissipate even faster because it's wider.
Oh,
so,
okay.
But in that case, it just helps me be able to get in. You'll be able to hook up the same notes later. So white flower, for me, it smells, before we even talk about taste, like freshly washed clothes, that like you just pulled you just finished your laundry, So it's a good smell, and it has this very aromatic smell to me, but it's a clean smell.
I was just going to say clean. Yeah, I got that.
Powder, like fresh. I would say spring day, dew, even like rain in this way. And maybe this is not the characteristics that sound like it's going to taste good, but let's see what you think about the palate.
Okay.
Still clean.
Still clean. Mm-hmm. It's very delicate.
And it has, if you couldn't see this one's still going. That's why the flute's always better to show for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't see anything here, but the bubbles are actually still, even after a couple of minutes, still floating up, doing its job. And that shows, that's the benefit as well with the tiny pearl lace bubbles that you get from the traditional method versus the Charmat method, which is used for something like a Prosecco. So that second disgorgement that happens, the second cuvee that they make, all of the steps that goes on after that, the riddling, that's when they shake the bottles a little bit, just to.
Oh, I've actually done
heard
that.
of it?
Yeah.
You did? Oh, okay.
Yeah, long time.
I haven't even done that yet. But that actually, a lot, there's yeast in the bottle, so it wakes up the yeast and actually turns slightly, not a big full turn until it's ready, and also the bottle tilts up. But that helps when we're talking about the bubbles in the finished product as well. So and the taste is still clean. For the rosé, which is Cabernet Franc, 100%. I don't know if you picked up anything interesting, but it was like a nice raspberry sour tart.
Oh yeah, I totally get raspberry.
Yeah.
I was going to say, for those of you who are at home who aren't drinking Bouvet Ladubay, I think what Cha is teaching us is, really nice ways to just pour yourself a glass of wine or a glass of sparkling wine, and really savor it and enjoy it. We've some of us have a little bit more time at home now, and this is a way to just, be really thoughtful and sort of test yourself. I'm always intimidated. Wine intimidates me a lot. Cha's been helping me get past that. And like I said, I don't have a great vocabulary for wine, what wine smells like, but that's definitely something that comes with time. Cha, I don't know if it was you or maybe Jeannie, but somebody was like, I wasn't born knowing what wine smelled like. It's something that you develop over time, and it's a vocabulary that you learn, right?
I'm totally on board with that, but I also would like to say that I think a lot of us, like what I just described, instead of telling you some kind of textbook vocabulary that they meaning when you learn, this is the systematic approach to tasting. That is how we're taught when you're in school and learning through the WSET programs, et cetera. And so the method itself, and then the words that are used to describe it, maybe where you're from, if you're from Harlem like me, you haven't had currant before, right? So it takes, okay, why am I red currant? How would I pick that up? It took for me to travel to Europe to actually have quince and, actually enjoy red and black currant and know the difference. But the average person, instead of being intimidated about what you actually smell, that's why I said for the white one, it smelled like fresh laundry. I think everyone hopefully can raise their hand and say, I've washed clean clothes and know what fresh
not in a few weeks,
laundry smells like. So before you're just giving yourself some credit, you know how things smell, you know how things taste. So just relate it back to something that's more relatable to you, and what you smell is way easier than trying to remember some textbook words that you've heard someone say at, I'm one of those crazy people that watch Psalms compete on tournaments on YouTube. And I'm like, where did they get all of this? But, in some of the descriptions is kind of out of the box for me, just because of what I'm used to. So in this case, just be more comfortable with just connecting to your own environment. And that makes it at least more accessible.
So Cha, we just have another minute. So tell us what when you drink this, what do you taste?
Yeah, so the raspberry was the first note that I smelled and also taste, but then it was a hint of herbaceous note that was cool that came out of it. Maybe like a earthy or bark note, and with Cabernet Franc, it actually brings up this cool, I don't want to say dirty, I don't know that's but earthiness that is exciting, So, and Cab Franc is an exciting grape for, not just for Loire Valley, but I think people don't know that it's also one of the major grapes in Bordeaux. So people who know that Cabernet Sauvignon, and also Merlot is there, but one of the major supporting grapes, the third grape there is Cabernet Franc. So it does play a major role in Loire Valley, and in this sparkling, it actually gets the time to shine. So Bouvet is great, and I appreciate having it. Thank you, Gary.
Well, our time to shine together has come to an end, Cha, but we'll have to come up with another event so we can hang out again
Sure.
soon. Cha, was
or virtual tastings until that happens, right?
Exactly. Well, Cha,
virtual
cheers. Cheers. You're the bomb, Cha. Thank you for your time. And Cha's going to be a judge later, so you're not seeing the last of Cha. So
I'll be finishing the bottle.